first of all, I want to give my veterans out there a happy Veterans Day. I want to say greetings and salutations to everybody else who is listening on the stream. My name is Kima Murray, and I am the director of Stripes VUB, based out of the beautiful University of Central Oklahoma in Edmond, Oklahoma. Um, Partly why this podcast is actually uh, taking place is to give information on our service members, our veterans that are thinking about going into post secondary education. Sometimes we don't get as much information in our briefings that we should be getting. And that could be because of a number of different factors. It could be a lot of stuff that is going on at that particular time. But the fact is that, we don't get all the information we need. So, one of the things that my organization wanted to do is to get into the digital space and to get this information to you so that you can make an educated decision about your educational future. Well, if you have tuned in to either of the channels, being uh, Facebook, which is Stripes VUB at Facebook, and then we also have a channel on YouTube, which is the same, Stripes VUB at uh, at YouTube. If you tuned into any of those, this is my second broadcast. And the last broadcast we did, we talked about pretty much why I was doing these podcasts and what they would entail. So to review on that for just a couple of minutes, this podcast is for informational purposes only. And our goal is to give you the information that you will need in case you are thinking about going into post secondary education. And we're going to be talking about a lot of different subjects when it comes to choosing a school, what kind of admission processes there may be, what are some opportunities you can utilize to finance your education, what is the actual way you're going to pick a school, or what are you going to study. We're going to be talking about a few issues over the next couple of weeks. Now, this podcast is going to be broadcast every single week on Thursday at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. That is every single Thursday on our two channels at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time, so that one, we can remain constant, and two, we can be sure that we get the most amount of people that's needed for this. Also, just to make one quick announcement, pretty soon, everybody, all the schools are going to be on Christmas break, also on Thanksgiving break. So on those weeks, we will not be transmitting our podcast. But as soon as our vacations are over at the schools, then we will resume broadcasting again. Also, if you want to see a calendar of events, check out our Facebook page and like our page. And that way, whenever there's something that gets posted on there, you will be able to get a notification and you can get that piece of information. Also, at all this time, you are probably seeing a ticker right below me that has the office number of Stripes VUB here at UCO, as well as our email address. So if you have any questions that you uh, can't ask on the air, or if you look at this broadcast later, then you'll be able to contact us and get your questions answered. Also, this is a live, so that you can be able to interact uh, fairly in real time. You could actually do a chat as you are watching this. You can also leave a comment, and hopefully it'll, one, tell us how to do these podcasts better, or two, answer any questions that you may think of once we sign off the broadcast. So, um, normally this will only take 30 minutes of your time. These are like short, bite sized little nuggets, so that you can continue on your normal life, but you will be the wiser because of the information that has been forwarded to you. So once again, that is why the podcast is actually underway, as we used to say in the Navy. Also, I want to reiterate what I said at the beginning of the podcast. This week is Veterans Week. Matter of fact, here at UCO, we've had a number of veterans events on campus, and they were spectacular. There's also a luncheon tomorrow at the Cherokee Room in the Nye University Center here at UCO. If you actually are a veteran, you can attend this luncheon, and it is going to be a pretty good time per se. Also, if you are a Veterans Day is actually normally it was Monday, but this year Veterans Day actually is on a Friday. So if you are a vet and you want to get out and celebrate Veterans Day, um, check out va.gov, and they have listings of all types of free meals and discounts and events and all sorts of stuff that's going on for the vet. So I definitely would recommend that you check out that list and maybe go have some fun with you and your families. So, without further ado, let me go ahead and get to the subject matter of tonight's podcast, and that is different types of degrees. Now, I know that sounds kind of weird, but you have to think about something, that there are educational levels ever since we were in elementary school. You had elementary school, you had junior high, you had high school, you have certification programs, you have 2 year colleges, you have 4 year colleges, you have colleges with master's programs, you got professional programs, you have doctorates. There are so many degrees out here that it is really, really uh, mind boggling that you can keep them all together. And you can't think of them as separate degrees, think of them as levels. Okay. For all you video game players out there, uh, think of these as levels to your educational journey. Now, each level of these degrees enable you to basically get the job you want. There's a couple of different reasons you would go for certain levels of degree fields, and I'm going to go over those today. But the reason why you should know this is because depending on the type of employment that you want, you may not need a high degree field. If you want a job that requires a bachelor's degree, you don't necessarily need a master's. But conversely, if you need something, if you want to have a job that requires a doctorate, then a bachelor's is not going to cut it. Okay. So, one of the things you have to realize is that you have to take in your level of scholastic achievement into question in order to make a decision about where you want to go and how you want to get the job that you like and that you're going to love. Now, there are some folks that seem to think that you don't need school to actually get the job that you want. And you know what? That's actually true. You don't. But there are jobs that require you to have some form of training or education in order to convince them that you are able to do the job that you are applying for. So, what we're going to talk about tonight is how many different types of degrees there are, and what are these degrees? What are the differences between these degrees? Okay, so without further ado, let's get to it. So here, really did a little bit of research, and this was one of the nicest um articles that I found. And for those who want to look this up, I went to a website called mydegreeguide.com. And I know uh, some of these names for these websites are kind of generic. I get that. But there is no denying the information that is shown on this website. And I want you to really keep an open mind as we go through this because of the simple fact that it is very informative. But for those of you who really want to actually take notes about research, start with Google, believe it or not. Yes, there's a lot of entries, but Google is one of the biggest research tools that you can have. So, where do you start off in? Now, I'm going to talk about certifications later. But let's talk about the scholastic degrees. And they always start with an associate's. An associate's is usually the first spot that you will hit in your scholastic journey when you go to college. And there, as you see here, there is a variety of different associate degrees, whether you're talking about arts, you're talking about engineering, science, forestry, the list goes on. And each of these associate degrees actually have a different requirement in order to complete them. That is why you really have to um, think about what you want to do and how you're going to do it before you even choose the path. Each of these degrees are laid out in a path called a degree plan. And this a degree plan is what you would use to take the associated classes that are associated with the degree you're trying to complete. So if I want to complete an associate of technology, well, I'm not going to take a bunch of art classes. If I want to complete a associate's of nursing, then I'm not going to take a bunch of forestry classes. Okay. So you really have to keep in mind about how you want to start your scholastic journey because guess what? This is going to be the first finish line that you get. Now, the article goes on to say, uh, why should you even get an associate degree? And sorry, I'm fidgeting a little bit much. The controls are kind of funny, but it basically gives you uh, 6 good reasons to get an associate's degree. One is flexibility. Now, without reading word for word what the article says, basically this is telling you that you can actually complete this degree fairly quickly. Okay. And you can actually complete it in a bunch of different ways. So it's a really flexible degree to actually have. And you're talking about a notarized or recognized, that's a better word, uh, completion of training is an associate's degree. Okay. So the second thing is reduce cost. Now, here in Oklahoma, or actually here in Oklahoma City, um, well, I'm part of Edmond, but I reference Oklahoma City because we're right above it. We have two 2-year universities, so that when you go to these schools, you come out with an associate's degree. Okay. One of the selling points and one of the great things about these particular schools is the fact that they are the cheapest schools that you will be able to afford. And they take all the financial aid that is offered in the scholastic system. So not only do you get the flexibility of an associate's degree, but guess what? It's cheaper than all the other schools. Now, the third thing I want to point out, and this article points out very, very great, is the fact that you don't have to be in school for a lot of time to complete an associate's degree. You only have to be in school for 2 years. That's it. Okay. There are some jobs out there that an associate's degree is fine for an entry level position. Okay. So that means you don't have to go to school for a long time to get enough of a credential to get your foot in the door for a marketable and very fulfilling career. Okay. Now, second thing, fourth thing is future educational opportunities. What this means is that when you complete an associate's degree, that opens the door to continue your educational journey because you can take that associate's degree to another school. And just because you have an associate's degree, that signifies that you have completed the requirements to start for the next step in your scholastic journey, which is the bachelor's degree. And I'll get into that in a second. Now, here's the part I like. Okay. Higher earnings. Okay. When you have an associate's degree, it calculates, and this statistic is actually a year ago, but your weekly paycheck, you can earn somewhere in between $141 above the normal 746 weekly earnings of a typical employee with a high school diploma. So basically, it's telling you this. When you get more educated, you earn more money. As simple as that. Okay? As simple as that. When you get more educated, you earn more money. Unless you are lucky enough to get into a situation to where you are able to earn a real huge amount of money quick, which doesn't happen often. But the consistent part is that when you educate yourself and get smarter, you earn more money. That is a constant and it hasn't changed since the old days. Okay. So I want you to think about that. And also, there's a reduced risk of unemployment, believe it or not. Okay. In the current look, in today's job market, you have to face facts. What is the most important reason why you would get a job, or what is the most important reason that you would want to get a job in the first place? And that is to keep earning money so you can survive, right? There's a second reason as well: job security. Okay, you want to keep that job as long as possible, preferably until you retire. Okay, and you don't want a job that is basically going to that is not stable. Okay, well, first of all, in order to get smart enough, you're going to have to go to school so you can differentiate if that job is going to be right for you or not. Second of all, you're going to have to basically look at a opportunity, and one of the things you're going to be looking at is job security. Okay, now The article goes on and basically talks about, how many credit hours you would need to get an associate's degree, which is usually 60. Okay. And how long does it take to complete an associate's degree? Well, it already told you 2 years. So once you complete the 2 years, and this is one of the things I love about this article, these are examples of jobs that require an associate's degree. Now, half of this stuff I didn't even know about, and this whole article was actually written this year. But here's what I'm thinking. I'm like, wait a minute. Air traffic controller. Now, I think that was the most amazing job. I always thought that you would need a 4-year degree to be an air traffic controller. I really did. But I can tell you right now, based on what you see in front of you now, okay, I'm not the only one who sees this. So anybody who's looking at this stream will see that I've shared my screen and you're looking in black and white, okay, that you can make 6 figures as an air traffic controller with just an associate's degree. That to me is amazing. A radiation therapist. Those are the folks that, in the medical field. A nuclear technician that helps give us electricity through nuclear plants. A funeral home manager. Now, one of the things I like about UCO is that we have funeral sciences here. This is just an example of a manager, not the owner of a funeral home, but a manager can make a pretty decent wage with just an associate's degree. Keep that in mind. So next, I want to talk about a bachelor's degree. Now, a bachelor's degree happens right after the associates, and this is a list of all the different bachelor's degrees that you're eligible for and that you can get. Now, if I went through this whole list, this would be a long podcast, okay? And I'm not going to get you through that. But I just want to emphasize that there are a lot of choices when it comes to bachelor's degrees. And here is the one thing that people kind of forget to tell you is that if you get an associate's, there are certain bachelors that match that associate's. So when you go up the ladder, when it comes to scholastic level, like associates, bachelors, masters, doctorate, professional, you get more specialized. You get more in tune with what you actually want to do and what subject matter, such as you notice that here in the associate's degrees, it was kind of general choices per se. But now you get into the bachelor's degrees and you get a lot more specialized. Engineering technology, engineering, business administration, administrative studies, fine arts, urban and regional planning, library science. The list goes on and on and on. And the availability of most of these bachelor's degrees depends on the school that you would want to go to. So the thing about a bachelor's is that, okay, you got the associates. Now it's time for you to get up to the bachelor's. That's the next step up. Now, what are the benefits of earning a bachelor's degree? Well, guess what? Number one, you earn more money. You're more specialized. On average, it's saying by the Bureau of Labor Statistics that you can get $502 more a week than just those who just hold a high school diploma. Diploma. Also, reduced unemployment. When you are more marketable because of the training you have completed, people will not want to waste your talents. They will want to come after you, but you have to let them know that you're out there. And third of all, lifetime earnings. At a 40-year career, those who have a bachelor's degree will actually uh, boost your potential lifetime earnings from a median amount, and that means middle or average, from $1.7 million to $2.3 million lifetime. I think that's a nice little nest egg to retire on, don't you? So the requirements for a bachelor's degree vary depending on the degree, but it's usually about 120 credits, which take about 4 years. Sometimes 5, depending on if you have a specialized degree. Now, these are some of the uh, examples of careers that require a bachelor's degree. And as you can see, I'm not going to go over the numbers, but you can see that there are more of amount of 6 figures than it is 5 figures. I'll just leave it at that so that you can review this podcast and go over the numbers yourself. Let me know in the comments what you think, because if I'm just spouting off nonsense, let me know. But if this information is good for you and you would like to know more, let me know that too. So to continue, the next step is the master's degree. And I'm looking at the clock and I see that, I'm taking a little bit of time here, so I'll hurry it up a little bit. But this is a list of the master's degree. But keep in mind, now you're narrowing the margin of speciality. Okay. Now you get more specialized in what you want to do. With a master's degree, you are considered an expert, okay, in that field. And you can also see that the list is getting longer because it's more specialized. Um, and why should you earn a master's degree? Well, I'm glad you asked, because of the simple fact that now you're more specialized. So, of course, excuse me, you have more job security. Okay. People do not want to get rid of you if you are a specialized employee. Okay. Also, you will actually get paid more as a master's level employee than you would as a bachelor's. By the Bureau of Labor Statistics, they're actually talking about $1,497 a week more than somebody with just a high school diploma. And of course, the other reasons are reduced unemployment and lifetime earning increase. Okay. So when you go to a master's degree, you've already had 120 credits. Most master's degrees require an extra 36 to 48 more credits. Yes, you're going to school a little bit longer, but you're probably going to have maybe a 2-year increase in your scholastic career, but think of the benefits after you're done. Okay. And I'll let this sit here for a minute. These are examples of those with a master's level career. Now, for the next two, I'm not going to really go through them all, but I'll give you an example of what they say in the article. There are a doctorate, okay, Dr. So and so, okay. Once again, you are above a master's. Now you're in the doctorate level. Same reasons why to earn a doctorate: increased earnings, reduced unemployment risk, and lifetime earnings increase. But now you have to get into 2 more years of school to complete your doctorate. But the actual career outlook for doctorate level, which I'll show you here, is pretty high, because as you go into the doctorate level, now you get into some specialized career fields that not everybody is going to be privy to. And after your doctorate level, there is accelerated degrees dual degrees, and also what they call professional degrees that require you an internship as well as other forms of training, but they all result in the same thing: higher wages, higher contention, and a higher lifetime earnings increase. So I can tell you that right there, that's the cost of admission, folks. I mean, that is really the cost of admission, because I will tell you that most of us are looking forward to really having something that's going to help us take care of not only ourselves, but our families as well. And something that will enable us, when we're done working, that we can retire comfortably and live out the rest of our lives happy. And one of the things I want to actually stress is how you could get into all this and where you can get all the information to start your pre college journey. Well, guess what? I'm glad you asked. This is what Stripes Upward Bound is for. This is what my program is for. Okay. We are we are a Department of Ed sanctioned pre-college readiness program. Okay. We are to make sure that you are adequately prepared to go into the environment of not only college, but uh, post any kind of post-secondary education. Now, the one thing I forgot to mention was certifications. Certifications are specialized training, usually by a third party, in order to certify or vouch for the fact that you can do a certain number of tasks associated with a particular form of employment. One good example of a certification program is the fact that, well, years ago, I used to work for an airline. And normally, to work on an airplane, you have to have a government sanctioned aircraft license. And without that license, you can't work on a plane. Well, American Airlines actually developed a training program to where they certified mechanics who could work on specialized materials or specialized parts. My specialty was fiberglass and composite materials. So they certified me to work on their parts in their company. And I didn't have to go to school. I just attended training that they gave me. And I had to convince them, either by test or by a my crew chief certifying that I could do the task of my training. Okay. So one of the things we do at Veterans Upward Bound is that we have, and you can see the list before, up on screen. We provide benefit application assistance. We'll let you know about your military benefits if you have them. If you don't, we will be able to match you up to scholarships due to resources that we have that'll match and help you pay for your education. Okay, we'll actually give you elements of, if you have if you want to use loans, what is a responsible way of using a loan? Okay, we also help with um, admission assistance. Okay, how many people have tried to apply to college and you're not really sure how you would do it? Well, guess what? We help you. Okay, we also provide a small monthly stipend just for being in our program, but there is a catch. We can't just pay you for doing nothing. Okay, we have to basically, you would have to be active in our program. One thing you can do is actually watch our podcast and leave a comment. Okay, once you leave a comment, guess what? That proves that you were actually active. Okay, we'll have events periodically, and all you would have to do is attend the events. Sometimes we have seminars here on campus to help you, get you the information about your scholastic journey. Okay, just attend one of those. We usually feed you. We'll give you some nice information, and we'll be here to walk you through the process every step of the way. Another thing we'll do is to help you um, get prepared for your entrance exams. There are some folks that have been out of school for a number of years, like 5, 6 years. Okay. We help you get ready for any kind of entrance exam that a school may throw at you. Okay. We have a lot of different resources to help you do that. And that's just some of the things we do. Okay. So if you want more information about how to become part of Stripes VUB, uh, the ticker is right below you. Okay. Just give us a call at that number or send us an email, and we can go ahead and get you squared away and have you on your way to um, getting that degree that will not only enable you to continue on with your scholastic journey, but you'll be able to get the job that you would want, and that would enable you to live the life that you are destined to live. So uh, I tell you right now, it's been uh, pretty fun. Okay. Now I can tell you through experience, I have my master's. Okay. So I know that I have made the right decision. But if you're not sure, give us a call anyway. Maybe we can help answer those questions. Well, it is 40 after the hour. So I want to thank everybody who chose to tune in and get some of this information. And once again, if you have any questions at all, leave a comment or call the number that is cycling at the bottom of my screen, as well as drop us an email. We will gladly answer any questions you have, and expect us to be on the air again next Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, once again, happy Veterans Day to all my veteran brothers and sisters and all active duty military personnel, either here or abroad. Happy Veterans Day. Uh, thank you for your service, and everyone have a good night.